Hey everyone, long time no see. It's Sunday, September 8th. This is Annette from Annette's Acre, and I thought it would be high time for an update, otherwise I'm going to get buried with the piles of stuff that I have to show. So, it seemed like a really good time to do that. Things have been super hectic for the last couple months. We did take our cruise in August, which was phenomenal. I also went to the Attic Summer School Needlework Retreat at the end of August. In fact, it was started the day that we got back from the cruise, so it was a little hectic couple of days there. And I've started a new project, so I'm now traveling again. Luckily only to Dallas this time, but still traveling. And it's just been super hectic. Thank you so much for your comments and kind words on my last video regarding Zachary's accident and his job woes. The good news is on both fronts they have been resolved. So the insurance company settled us nicely for the car, and we were able to purchase a new vehicle, new to him, not new, but new to him vehicle that basically appeared, just happenstance. Come here, Maxie. Sorry. Get out of there. Anyway, a new small car for him to use, using a good chunk of the money that we returned. So it didn't cost us much of anything, which was great. And then the second piece of good news is that he's starting a new job a week from Monday at another very large insurance company that has offices here in the Valley. Slightly different than what he was doing before, much more potential from a long-term perspective, which will be awesome, and more money. So at the end of the day, it all worked out. It allowed him to be home without any issue while we were gone on the cruise. So he was home and spent the week with the dogs, which I know he was thrilled about, and so were they. But it worked out quite well. So he's starting a new job soon. He's got a car to get him to and from. So all of that is good. The girlfriend is doing quite well as well. She's still in the final stages for a couple of other job opportunities. So it'll all in the end it'll all work out. So wanted to get the good news. Excuse me. Sorry, Max. Okay. Sorry, I had to deal with amazing what the dogs find when they come in here with me. Anyway, I have a metric ton of crap to show you. Tons, lots of finishes, fully finished, framing, a few whips. I'm actually missing a whip, which is very unusual for me, but whatever, I'll show it next time. And the retreat had a ton of things. We got a ton of stuff from the retreat, so I have a lot of that to show. I have a little bit of knitting to show because I made quite a bit of progress while I was gone, and just some other stashy stuff. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it, because otherwise this is going to go for a while. And that. So the first thing I'm going to show in full finishes is this is a Clouds Factory Nevermore, you can see Nevermore Biscore New that I just finished last weekend. It's the bottom. This is for an exchange that I'm in for a Facebook group. I'm not going to say the group, nor am I going to obviously say the recipient, but it came out quite cute. I'm very happy with it. A little Edgar Allan Poe. So, but he's all done. It'll go in the mail this week. Had to kind of wait to the very last minute, because in order to send some sweet items with it, I gotta wait till the heat breaks a little bit in Arizona, so that I don't risk sending melted items. So the Nevermore Biscore New, I finished that myself, did it myself, this past weekend. Framing wise, I got my House of Puppy Dogs fall framed. I also got my Ink Circles Dark Shards. It's framed. It's a beautiful dark blue frame. So very nice. That came out well. Plague Doctor. Sorry for the glare. Plague Doctor is framed. I love the nice black frame there with a little bit of interest. All of the light flashes and the light spots are actually the fabric. So that came out great, I think. He's going to look awesome. Guitars got framed. So I got this one done. And then last but certainly not least, and the biggest of the bunch, is King Arthur's framed. See if I can get him up here a little better. There we go. He came out awesome. So the frame is kind of a blue gold, kind of a denim-y blue with the gold wash. It just came out really nice, and it's huge. I don't think of this piece being this big. So gotta find somewhere to hang them in the house. Don't know where yet. Okay, moving on. I do have one stitching finished, but we'll hold that for a minute. All right. When last we spoke, I was working on my Rhett and Scarlet, and Rhett was looking kind of sad because he didn't have a face or any hair. Guess what? Now he does. So my Scarlet and Rhett, all stitching is done. Now, I'd also said that I was holding the back stitching until August, and obviously it's not done yet. But it will be soon. We are done with the WIP albums and Magical Stitches, so whenever I'm ready to spend a couple days and get the back stitching done, that'll be another finish. I probably should do it sooner rather than later. The other thing that I showed you in the last video was my Ink Circles Mysterious Adventure project. I did get a little more progress on it. I am nowhere near caught up as far as the loci are concerned, but I did actually get a little bit of the border all the way around, and I also got my coastline in. So here's where we're at now. So this is the whole thing, and then I rolled my coastlines in. I did have to fudge a bit to get the island, but that's okay. But two sides, the bottom border is 100% complete. Between the two sides, I've got a side complete and then some, and then obviously the top is still good. I'm doing this in Silks for You and Dinky Dyes on 36 count Heartland by Picture This Plus. So I took it with me to work on the cruise, and I didn't touch it because I was enamored with another project that I took on the cruise, which is this one. I spent a good chunk of time working on Plum Pudding, Blend in Place, while I was on the cruise. It was perfect. It was just perfect stitching for when I, had some time sitting in the cabin. There was a nice couch right next to we had a beautiful balcony and sliding glass door, and I could just sit there and watch the ocean go by if we were traveling, if we were moving along. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. So here's where I'm at now. So quite a bit of progress, and my goal is to finish this within the next couple weeks so I can take it over to Nick to get it framed. I only have 4 of the little segments left, and then obviously one more of the corners to do, and then all the stitching will be complete, and it'll just be time for some beads. So, and this is on 32 count Vintage Stormy Clouds, which is a Zweigart printed Belfast. So hopefully next time that'll be a finish. I also made a new start. I started in the 24 hours of cross stitch at the beginning of August. I joined Emily from Eclectic Possessions and Diana from It Is Kismet in starting the Weaver's Tapestry, which is a free stitch along that was up last year, the year before. It's 52 parts, 1 part per week. Hold on, I'm doing it on just 40 count white linen using a Silks For You hank of silk. This is week 1 and I think week 2 and getting into week 3. But there it is. It's very difficult. You can just barely see some of the variegation on the silk. I'll put a link to the I'll put a link below to the full piece so that you can see what it looks like. This, let me pull out the silk. This is the silk that I'm using. There's a little better. You can see it a little better in that light. But you can see it's kind of got some purples and aquas and all different colors in there. So that's the silk. So 1/2 on 40 count white linen. So that got started during 24 hours cross stitch. Now I had another start from my last whip that I started actually at the end of May, but I didn't show it. So here it is. So this is a Russia kit. It's a nutcracker ornament. It's done on plastic canvas. You can see all the instructions are in Russian. No idea what it says. I'll just call it the nutcracker ornament. I made decent progress. I worked on it just a couple days, so that's not bad. I'll say 14 count plastic canvas, not my favorite material to work on. If I thought a little harder, I would have just found a piece of 28 count fabric and done it on that, but it's okay, it is what it is. I'm also thinking I'm only going to do the front, and then back it with some felt or something, because I have to use like a needle gripper to pull my needle through the plastic canvas. So it's not the most pleasant experience to work on, but that's okay. I also worked on TW's Noah's Ark, but I have no idea where I put it. So when I find it, I will, you know, I'll show it when I find it, because I made a bit of progress. Excuse me. All right. After we came back from the cruise on the 22nd, Friday the 22nd, pretty sure it was Friday the 22nd. Anyway, right in there. 23rd, Friday the 23rd. Time, people, oh my God, time flies. The schoolhouse, the attic summer school retreat started that day. So I went from the airport home, dropped off bags, repacked the stitching bag real fast, and then drove the 20 minutes to where the retreat was being held. Thankfully, very close to my house. There were multiple designers that were part of the retreat, and as I get to the stuff from each designer, I'll tell you who they were. But there was a class on Friday evening, which I had, but had already started by the time I got there. So I got a little bit of work done, but not that much. And then all day Saturday and Sunday morning was the sum total of the retreat. One of the classes that we did on Saturday was this lovely black squirrel scissor purse from Linda at Needle Made Designs. I started it on that Saturday. It's on 36 count linen using Gloriana silk. I started it that day, and then I came home and I finished it. So there's my little black squirrel. The fabric is a little darker than this. It's a little cocoa-y or anyway. So anyway, here he is. I stitched the squirrel himself in 2 strands on the 36 count, and then I did the rest of it in 1 strand. So, and this is a motif from a larger reproduction sampler, and we also got the chart for that sampler. We also got all the bits and pieces to finish this into this purse. So, when I get ambitious soon, hopefully. Thought I was going to be ambitious last weekend, but that didn't work out. When I get ambitious, I'll actually finish this into the purse and hang it up as a decoration. Anyway, so that was a start and finish, which was good. The other piece, one of the other designers was Linda Danielson from Samplers Remembered. So each one of the designers kind of gave us a larger piece as well as a small piece that we could start in class. So obviously the purse was Linda's small piece. For Linda Danielson, we got this sweet little reproduction sampler called Hannah Heston 1795. That alphabet at the top is done in rice stitches. So, and we got the design completely kitted, and I went ahead and started it while we were there. So I started it, and then after finishing the squirrel piece, this was the next one that I picked up. So here's where I'm at now. That's where we're at now. This is on 40 count linen in straw using Gentle Arts. Gentle Arts sampler threads except for the green. The green is a Weeks Dye Works. So moving right along. Obviously I got all the rice stitch alphabet done. Hallelujah. And then the rest of it is just cross stitch. So I am making some adjustments, based on me, because heaven forbid I do anything exactly the way the chart is. But I'm making some adjustments, but I really like this. Now, this needle minder came from, is a magnet actually, that I purchased in Skagway, Alaska. It was just the geode slice magnet, and it already had the nice magnets on the back, so I just slapped another magnet to be the backing, and poof, I have a new needle minder. There he is. Very cool. But it already had the magnet. So for $5, can't beat it. Alright. So those are all the stitching projects that I worked on. I will hold the knitting stuff until... Oh, what the hell, we'll just do the knitting. Okay, so I only worked on one knitting project, and I showed this project last time, and I had just started it. I hadn't gotten very far on it. This is my burrow wrap from Bakery Bear's Swish and Flick Collective. So I'd gotten to about right here. I'd gotten just about that much. Okay, so first color was complete, working on the second color. Yeah, I got a little bit of knitting done. This is like great plain knitting because, as in airplane knitting, because there's only 2 rows essentially, and it's very easy to memorize. So I stitched on this. I worked on this on the flight to Seattle. I worked on this quite a bit on the book because it was easy to pick up and put down. I worked on this on the flight home. I worked on this on my trip to Dallas last week. I'll be working on this on my trip to Dallas this week. So yeah. So this is color number 7, this kind of turquoisey color. And then I only have 2 more colors to add in, and then this is the center of the shawl, of the wrap, and then that'll be done, and then it's just a matter of going around and around the outside. So my goal is to get it done before I can comfortably wear it. So far so good. Okay, so that's all of the whippy things. And now we can dive into, so let's talk a little bit more about the retreat. One of the items that we received for attending the retreat is this beautiful box. So you can see it says in here, Mesa's 2019 Summer School, or the Attic's 2019 Summer School, Mesa, Arizona. It's a 2-section or 3-section box. See? Beautifully made. I believe you can purchase these from the Attic. Not sure what the price is, but it's gorgeous. We also got the notepad, pen, right? But the dovetail work, just amazing. Very light. I'm planning to put it out next to my area in the front room to hold all the bits and pieces, because it'll be much prettier than kind of the pile of stuff I have out there now. So that was part of the retreat. One of the projects that we made during the retreat was this string container. So the lid comes off. This was just a plain paper mache box before we started. It did have the hole and the grommet put in the top, but that was it. So this was a Mod Podge of a toile tissue paper. So we put that on, we painted the top, poof, Bob's your uncle, we're done, right? So that was nice. And then the other thing we did was we got these fun little Chinese style scissors, and we wrapped the handles in the burlap, so to make them a little more comfortable. So that was actually our Sunday. This was our Sunday morning project. So we have that. We worked and decorated this box. So this is actually just washi tape that's been used to kind of finish the box. This came from Linda at Needlemade, and it contains all the bits and pieces to finish the squirrel purse. So those are all the bits and pieces that are in it, and these are all finishing supplies for the purse. These are other buttons that I bought while I was there. So these are just old. I love some old buttons. So that was also, but yeah, this is just like washi tape on a plain metal container. Boom, done. And it's very magnetic, so well, look, I can show my Fiber Talk needle minder that I got. And I also got the baby version of the Fiber Talk needle minder. Very strong. Okay. We also finished this small balsa box that we have a print of a sampler to go in the bottom, which I have not affixed yet. But yeah, just a little kind of catchy tray. We did the staining on the side. It was plain when we got it. However, the project that I really liked was we made a book. This is called this is from, oh my gosh, Milady's Needle. Gloria at Milady's Needle. See, everybody signed the book. And she taught us how to make the book. This, I'm telling you, this is nothing more than scrapbook paper, comic book board, right? And a little twine, some wax twine. And we made a book. Well, and then the paper on the inside for the signatures. But yeah, we made a book. Very cool. Very, very cool. There is a stitched piece to go on the front, which I have in the pile, and I'll show you when we get to that part of the pile. But essentially there's a stitch piece for the front. There's a stitch piece to go inside the front and the back to make a pocket. And then you can do other paper pockets and stuff on the inside, whatever you like. Kind of the whole scrapbook, journaly kind of thing. I doubt I'll ever fill up the book, but it's nice to have and be able to know it. And the next thing on my list, once I finish Hannah Heston, the next project I'll pick up is the front cover piece. So, all right. So the rest of this is pretty much the Holly stuff, and it's in no particular order because it's just a pile here. So I'll tell you as I remember. But I did find a fabric store and a yarn shop in Alaska, in the small town of, super small town of Skagway, Alaska, which was the northernmost point of our cruise. They had very little cross stitch. Very little. So I did pick up this piece because I needed something. So this is the bald eagle chart. We saw dozens and dozens of bald eagles at every place we stopped. So we also saw whales. We did a whale watching trip and we saw a dozen whales in 2 hours, which was pretty amazing. We saw sea lions and other things, but tons and tons of eagles. So that was why I got the eagle chart. And then I also bought yarn at the yarn store, which seems like, that would be a good idea, right? So Aurora Yarns of Alaska. This I think this is, anyway, this is merino. This is a merino silk blend. Beautiful colors. And then this is a merino seaweed blend. This I think is a DK weight. This is more of a DK weight. So these will both turn into something. Yeah, this is more of a fingering sock weight. This is a DK weight. So these will both turn into something. I don't know what yet, but they were really pretty. And there were, I could have bought like 10 more skeins of beautiful yarn, but I kept it down to 2 because I didn't have a whole lot of room in my suitcase. The fabric store, I did okay. I found this North by Northwest, which is just a little charm pack, which is kind of fun. And then I found some fat halves, which I will ultimately turn into some project bags. Kind of the totemy prints. Very cool. Very cool. So, they're pretty good. 2 yards of fabric, not bad. Could have bought a lot more. We had some amazing quilts up on the wall. But they also ship. So if there's something that, keeps haunting me, I can always go back and have it shipped back. So, okay. At the retreat, of course, there was shopping. Let me find a few more. Oops. Okay. So this is a chart from Needlework Press that we received. It's beautiful Eleanor Brad, 1823. This was from the retreat. So, chart. The small project from Needlework Press that we got on Saturday was this little sweet little pin drum right here. So we got all the supplies for that the little pin drum, including fabric, threads, a couple of little pins, and then they went through and showed us basically the finishing instructions. So we received that. This is fun. This is actually kind of a 3D cutout. You basically you can cut it out and assemble it, and it makes kind of a 3D little stand of the 4 little girls standing. So I've got it sitting at a table. This is stuff that we received for that junk journal from Gloria. So different prints. Sorry, just trying to. This was the big sampler from Linda at Needle May Designs. It's called Rachel Long. Nice little red house there. These were not kitted, these are just the charts. Gloria at Milady's Needle gave us Jenny Brimer. So we got that. I'm sure these will be available for purchase, but probably next year. Or the year after. From the Scarlet House, from Tanya Brockmeyer at the Scarlet House, we got this beautiful Dutch sampler, which is kind of a candle mat. And she actually gave us all the supplies for this particular project, including the red felt and such for the candle mat itself. So these are all the supplies. You can see the shape of the candle mat right there. So once I get the book done, this will be the next one. Speaking of the book, here's the book. So here's the book from Gloria at Milady's Needle. So this is the cover piece, and then these are the 2 pockets that we stitched to go inside the front and back cover. So should go together fairly quickly, and we got the silks, fabric, I mean everything we need to do this. So okay. And then, in addition, we could go to the attic itself, of course, and do some shopping. So I bought, Nicola Parkman was there sitting at my table from Hands Processes Samplers. It was surreal, let me tell you. She's the nicest lady, but oh my gosh, when I came in Friday night, when I rushed in Friday night and sat down and looked around the table to see who Terry and I were sitting with, I was like, that's Nicola Parkman. Holy cow. How is that not a pair? So we bought. So anyway, Terry and I are going to stitch this together when Thou Art Rich. We have a completely different color palette though, so we got this chart, and then this is the chart that Nicola put out last week. She allowed those of us that were in summer school to buy it early. Sally Stansfield, 1841. Look at that red house. I love that freaking red house. I'm going to stitch this in DMC. I'm not going to do it all in silk. Already had that. Nicola signed it for me, which was fun. And then I bought fabric. So I just bought fabric for Sally and I got my fabric for Harriet Salt, which is this. This is my Harriet Salt fabric. It's platinum, or it's parchment, excuse me. 56 count. 56 count parchment. And yes, it's football season. And then this is the thread that I'm going to use. So, Swasserfine. 56 count. I'm crazy. Alright, so that was my attic shopping on Sunday at the end of the week. The next is just stuff that came in the mail, while I was either gone on the cruise or since then. So I got the next Cottage Songbird. I got Michelle Bendy's Stitchies, Alice's Mad Plant. I just love this. It's so cute. I like the colors. Got fabric for Color and Cotton. This is Creme de Menthe, so it's a super, super nice green. Hey! Super nice green. Thinking this might work. Mill Hill came out with the new Santas, and as you may or may not know, I have like the vast majority of the Mill Hill Santas that have come out in the last several years. So of course I had to get the new Santas. So this is South American Santa. Now, I didn't order them all at once. I figure I'll space it out as I'm ordering other things because I'm not going to start them right now. I'm just going to stick them in my box. So this is the first one I got, South American Santa. Now, I was very curious because they've also put out these new little ornaments. Ornament packs, right? So I'm very curious about these, so I got the first one. So we'll break it open here when we get closer to Christmas, and I'll let you know how that is. I bought Elizabeth's Designs Antique Celtic Sampler because it seemed a good idea. I got part 2 in the Lizzie Kate Frightful, which is the Lizzie Kate mystery for this year. I had already purchased part 1, and I even know where it is, which is good. And then I watched Pam and Steph Just Keep Stitching, and Steph talked about this kit, which has had bats, and I had to get that. And of course that came from Silver Needle, and it couldn't travel alone, so I bought the I Love My Dog, Love Me, Love My Dog Mill Hill kits. And Spectacular. These are done on big perforated paper, which I will not do. I will swap that out for some fabric. It's like full coverage. I haven't done one of the sticks. I haven't done a stick one. So, and then I also got the Nativity Row, which I had on my wish list for a while. So I got that one. Teresa from Shakespeare's Peddler did a thing in August. If you bought a chart, fabric, and floss, you got some mystery freebie. Who can pass up a mystery freebie? I cannot pass up a mystery freebie. So again, went digging in the wish list to see what I could find, and I found blue sampler from Permanent of Copenhagen. Love this. And I bought a piece of natural linen and some beautiful navy Gloriana. So we'll see. Don't know if that will be the ultimate combination or not. We'll see what happens. The mystery freebie was a primitive pin book chart. I'm going to put way back here. Not going to. There you go. And a sample Pin Lovers Club from Just Another Button Company. So that was fun. I thought that was good. And then last big thing, and this happened since I got back. This happened like last week before I went to Dallas. Michelle, one second. Michelle from Cozy Egg, who I've known for many years and is a very good friend of mine, and I actually had dinner with her last week, which was totally awesome because it had been a number of years since I had seen her in person, and it was great. And now I'm traveling to Dallas for the next 3 months, so I'm hoping to see her again. She works very close to where the company that the project that I'm working on, she works very close to there. So, well, her office is there. She works from home. You get it. Anyway, hoping to see her again. She finished her Anniversaries of the Heart, right? And it's stunning, absolutely stunning. And I'd had the charts on my wish list at 123 for a while, and they would go in and out of stock. Well, last week after seeing hers, I decided I should probably just get right on that. So I got them all. Now, I had to buy them from 4 different stores. I had to do 123. I did Sassy Jack's. I found a couple at Sassy Jack's after meeting the lovely Kim Young at the retreat. She was at the summer school retreat, which was very nice. It was like shop owner weekend. Kim Young was there, Janine from Acorns and Threads, and I made a complete fool out of myself when I'm like, I I know you when I first saw her. And of course, she didn't know who I am from Adam. So heaven help me. But she couldn't have been nicer. And then Kathy from Needle and Haystack, who I had met before because I'd been to Needle and Haystack. So I wasn't quite as struck with that one. But anyway, so I bought a couple from Sassy Jacks. I bought some from 123. I bought, and then the last one that I was missing, Jessie Marie, thank you Jessie Marie, sent me a text and said, hey, this is where I found that one. So then I bought that from Stitcher's Garden in Arkansas. So yeah, I got them all 12. They'll go in 40 count. I've already started making the list for personalization purposes. And then I picked up, because one of them had to travel alone and we can't have that, so I picked up this beautiful dry keep to go with it. The other purchase that I made, when we flew to Seattle, of course I was working on my burrow wrap. And I only keep like the current skein, the current color of Koigu that I'm using in my bag. So I packed my bag, everything's good, knitting on the plane, and I realized that I only had like 1.5 inches left before I was going to need the next color. And I was a little concerned because that didn't seem like that was very much. So, oh my gosh. So we flew Thursday night. We flew into Seattle Thursday night, spent the night, and then went to the ship around noon on Friday. So we still had the morning in Seattle. And my husband's like, because I said, oh my gosh, I don't know if I brought enough yarn. I only brought one project. Holy cow. He says, well, like, is there a yarn store close by? Why, yes, dear, there is a yarn store close by because we were very close to Pike Place Market. So I went to visit So Much Yarn in Pike Place Market. Very nice people, beautiful shop. They did not have Koigu, but that's okay. Instead, I got a couple skeins of this Ba yarn, La Jolla base in the Market Flowers colorway, and this is exclusive to So Much Yarn at Pike Place Market. So look at that. It's not quite that bright, but it's pretty close, and it's a bit of a mess because the skein fell apart because I had to really smash it for packing purposes. But anyway, so yeah, so I have 2 skeins of this. They taped the other one for me. And I got this cute little bucket. Is that not the cutest thing? So you can see. Now, ultimately, I didn't need the extra. I didn't need the new project because I'd made a bit of a mistake in the old project. And we won't go there anyway. So I didn't ultimately start this one, but I will soon because I love this yarn. So. Okay. That's it. So plans. Let's talk about plans. I've gone, as of September 1st, I'm doing a 4-3 rotation. So I'm like alternating on 4 days and then swap 3 days, then swap 4 days, blah, blah, blah. Because it seems to be kind of what I've naturally fallen into. So that's what I've done. Every other slot, I'm focusing on my attic projects. So projects, for right now, it was the first 2 projects that I started during the weekend. So I don't carry those whips into 2020. Once I finish Hannah Heston, which should be next weekend, then the next attic project I'll pick up is the cover, the Lady Needle, the cover for the book. So that'll be the next one. Oh, excuse me. And I want to work through those projects because I still have a couple projects from the very first summer school retreat that I went to, and that's crazy. I've only been to 2, and I should have those done. So today I'm finishing a slot on Hannah Heston. Tomorrow I'm traveling. it's a very full, I've got a very full trip, so I will probably only take my knitting with me. I may not even take any cross stitch with me for this trip. But I will pick up, when I get home, I will pick up plum pudding and spend at least a couple, 3 days to finish off the stitching on plum pudding. And we'll see if I just go ahead and do the beading. If it's the weekend, I may go ahead and do the beading, because I want to get that to the framer before the end of the month. He's closing at the end of the year, so now it's the mad rush to get everything done that we want framed. So I'm kind of doing that 4-3 rotation, 4 days, and then switch to something else for 3 or 4 days, and then do something else for 3 or 4 days. I'm keeping kind of a focus where I'll go back to the same projects, things that I want to get done. So that's kind of the plan right now. I am still magical stitching. I fell out really badly in July and August simply because things were so busy, and some of the homework was a little more involved than I wanted to get, and a little more switching than I wanted to do. So I was a bad Ravenclaw and did not earn as many points. I was reading though, so I earned some points, just not as many as normal. But so far this month I am good, and I will continue to participate. I can't decide if I'm going to participate next year or not. The book series have been announced. It's books that I've read one of the books before. Don't have any keen reason to want to read it again, so not sure if I'm going to do it next year, and I may just go back to doing my own thing. We'll see. There are a myriad of options out there. It seems like every month we got somebody new starting something new, so we'll see. Next year is not too far away, which is kind of scary, but evidently I'm missing football games, so we need to wrap this up. So those are the plans. Continue to knit on my burrow wrap. I have a couple of other shells I want to start, but I want to get that done first. And keep watching FlossTube, traveling, stitching, just doing the things, right? What else can I do? Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. You have a number and thousands of options, and I appreciate you taking the time to sit with me. And we'll see you next time, hopefully with a couple more finishes. Thanks. Have a great day.